Yeah, are there any, like, posts, like, does he actually describe the time period where he was on these trips? Like, is there any way to actually verify it? I think this is worse than the Pirate Software Blizzard stuff. Not worse than the totality of Pirate Software, but worse than the Blizzard stuff. He is just so goofy. He's always been goofy as hell. Even up till recently, he was mad goofy. It's just people didn't see it. People didn't see the vision. That's the problem.
No racism here, no Islamophobia, not even gonna mention the now deleted meeting with Al-Qaeda video. I don't know what's in that. Probably just an engineering conference.
Okay, but for now, slight update. Alright guys, slight update, huge update in fact. Mutahar, Some Ordinary Gamers. Obviously the other day, Nicandros released his video on Mutahar, showing that he was lying about being an engineer for like 15 years. Now, Harmful Opinions, obviously it's close with Nicandros rather, has done some more digging on Mutahar. We've got a few more things to look at. We've got 2 Harmful Opinions videos, and I've got some screenshots as well of just like miscellaneous stuff. Or a screenshot, I think. I can't remember what else I had.
Today's video is brought to you by my stupidity, ladies and gentlemen. I am not a smart person. I am a very stupid individual.
Yesterday, in preparation to watch a video by Nicandros on stream, I took a quick look into who Mutahar is because I wasn't really familiar with him. As it turns out, he's a really interesting guy. Mutahar really likes to remind people that
YouTube isn't my job.
People scoff at this, but it's true. It's not his job. It's much more than that. It is the core of who he is and the foundation of his self-worth.
I'll be honest with you guys, I have a reason to live, really, and that's you all. Might sound grim, you might
See,
be like,
this is the thing, he tries to act so above it all now, but if you go back and look at these early videos, he is like a proper, like, upstart, naive, hopeful YouTuber. He's like full-blown, like, oh, I love my community, I love just coming online and getting all the attention from you guys, like, it's just endless. He's just like that.
Are you trying to say? No, that's the truth. I have a reason to really go on living, you know what I mean? Other than that, what else did I have forward to look to in my life? Future of a menial job and whatnot, just becoming the standard 9-to-5.
Being watched and adored by strangers on the internet is entwined with his mental health to a disturbing degree.
You're important to me, If I ever lost 1 subscriber, I feel heartbroken. If, I do lose. I feel heartbroken because that's 1 person who used to like what I did, and they're gone.
He's wise not to say it so much anymore, as
me.
any normal person will find the sentiment quite sickening, but I think deep down, he still views his subscribers as literal family to him.
I'm not even kidding. I'd die for you. You all mean a lot to me. You have to realize that. Okay, this is a family.
This is just like so crazy. He tries to act so above it all and detached. This isn't even my job. I don't care about this. I just post videos as a hobby. No, dude. You were a dropout. You didn't know what you were doing with your life. YouTube fell into your lap. You were raised up by YouTube. You're not just like, oh, above it all, businessman. That's total cap. That's total cap. Your whole life is owed to this platform.
All as if you were my brothers and sisters, right? Like, that's how deep the connection is, at least for me. All right? I know it sounds somewhat weird to people. It's like, wow, why would you say that? No, it's the truth. Okay, I love you all.
Before you complain that the tidbits we'll be trolling through today are 10 years old, I'd like to...
Are we the reason you fight through the EPNess? Are we what give you the strength to sip espresso while not talking for 90% of stream?
Thank you for the $5, Tetris Chemist. Thank you, thank you.
Remind you that that's still more recent than the Pirate Software-esque high school Nepo daycare Mutahar apparently still uses to big himself up as being a professional engineer with.
I was basically finishing up my, high school diploma and everything, and at the time, I worked a little computer programming job. I worked as a pen tester, you know what I mean? Like, I got into the whole thing early, I had a couple connections.
Or perhaps his claims of being an engineer come from the job he quit in 2013 to pursue film when he was 18 or 19, which is presumably the awful bank app programming job you may have heard him mention.
So, for me, I left that job. I left pen test, I left all that kind of stuff. I left a soulless career, and I jumped onto film and TV.
Then again, maybe none of this is where his claims of being an engineer come from.
Left a soulless job and jumped onto film and... You mean you went and did a vocational film and TV diploma at a local college? That's what you mean, right?
Because back then, he called the career path that of a blue-collar computer programmer. Did you know that he didn't actually start calling himself specifically an engineer until over a year after he stopped studying to become one and started pursuing film instead? As far as I can tell from public record, it's only in 2015 that he switched from saying he was a programmer to saying he was an engineer. At first a dead-end computer engineer, but over time, somehow, for some reason, it morphed into a source of pride and, more importantly, credibility, and he clearly became very attached to the title.
I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer.
I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm only an engineer. Oh, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer, being an engineer, I don't have to tell you as an engineer. I'm just a dumb engineer as an engineer. My engineer asked, but as an engineer, so I'm just a fucking dumb fucking engineer. Okay, I can tell you, I'm an engineer. But I'm an engineer. As an engineer, I'm an engineer. As somebody that is an engineer, as an engineer. I'm saying I'm the number one engineer as an engineer. As an engineer. Right? As an engineer, I'm just an engineer. Speaking of somebody that is an engineer, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer.
It would seem that the further he gets from being an engineer, the more of an engineer he becomes. I have to agree with Nicandros that it looks very strange. It looks even stranger though, if you happen to be aware that in 2014 he made a video where he claims to have worked in video editing, film and TV for 4 years.
If you don't know, I work in the video editing industry, and I work in film and television in general, and in there, I get a lot of work, thank God. I'm a kind of guy who hasn't had a vacation in about 4 years now, because even if I try to have a vacation, I always end up bringing work with me, and you know, while I do have a good time, I do end up working constantly. So for 4 years, I have been pretty much working the whole same job. And
that job, 4 years, 2014. So you were doing that since 2010, 2 years before you normally tell us you started to get interested in editing to begin with. I'll put this one down to him having a stroke or something. He's not the most coherent speaker at the best of times. But there is at least one genuine issue with his career in editing and film that I noticed. You may not have known that Mutahar has a very strong connection to Japan. In August of 2015, he let everyone know that he lived there at some point.
For those of you who don't know, I used to actually, primarily work and operate in Japan. And, man...
Wait, what?
Speaker at the best of times. But there is at least one genuine issue with his career in editing and film that I noticed. You may not have known that Mutahar has a very strong connection to Japan. In August of 2015, he let everyone know that he lived there at some point.
For those of you who don't know, I used to actually, primarily work and operate in Japan. And, man, when I lived over there, Japan's, a really interesting place, alright?
He's also visited many times, for work. Mutahar has made some videos where he talks about real spooky experiences he's had. One of those being when he heard footsteps in Japan. In that video, he also talks about his work there. He explains he went to make a documentary on Aokigahara Forest.
I go to Japan. I have work in Japan annually that I do. If you guys don't know what I do for a living, it's video editing and whatnot, and I work on production work. Now, in Japan, there is a forest called Aokigahara Forest. Now, I'm on there doing a shoot.
Wait, is this just... This is gonna be he was just making shit up, I bet, for fucking stories and videos, right? Is that gonna be the outcome here? That he just used to do these videos where he would make shit up to try and make a spooky story or something?
It's sort of like a documentary-esque look into Aokigahara Forest.
He tells us that he had to trek through that forest, and that he came across clothing which he picked up.
So as we're trekking through the forest, I come across clothing. Now, the guy who's coming with us, who basically shows us the forest and navigates us through it, tells me that it's fresh. Incredibly sad sight to bear. And I picked it up and I held it for a little bit and I, soaked it all in.
It might be tempting to assume because he's telling a ghost story that this is completely made up. But it's not a fantastical story, it's his IRL ghost stories. And all that happened was he heard some footsteps and got scared. It is presented as truth. And he actually talks about his visit again 3 years later in 2018, when he condemns Jake Paul for his Aokigahara video. And he says something interesting.
Logan Paul.
Me personally, I have a little bit of history to this, and the reason I'm making this video is because I've been to the same forest, Aokigahara Forest in Japan. It is a very ethereal place, a place where a lot of people die.
And what does he say he did there?
Me visiting there at one point in my life, it is a very interesting place. I never had the entire intention to film it, never did.
He never intended to film there, and he never did film there.
Wait,
when you were there, as you told us before, to film a documentary-esque video on the forest.
But I've never seen any dead body, never seen it, but then again, I never really ventured too far into it. I got to see it firsthand.
You never ventured too far in to the forest you said 3 years ago you trekked through with a small crew. To be fair, he is consistent about never seeing a dead body.
So, Yeah, are there any, like, posts? Like, does he actually describe the time period where he was on these trips? Like, is there any way to actually verify it?
Forest.
But I've never seen any dead body, never seen it, but then again, I never really ventured too far into it. I got to see it firsthand.
You never ventured too far in to the forest you said 3 years ago you trekked through with a small crew. To be fair, he is consistent about never seeing a dead body, which he said before he, would have buried.
Thankfully, the good part about the story is we never came across that body. And it's also sad in a way too, because if I did, I'd definitely give it a fucking burial and whatnot, to honor the dead and shit.
Nevertheless, at least one of these stories must be a lie. I would suggest there's a hint about which one in this bizarre phrasing.
I never had the entire intention to film it, never did.
Never had the entire intention to film it? And the fact that telling people about how you messed around with the clothing of people who recently killed themselves wouldn't be a good look in a video condemning Jake Paul for his lack of respect. Engineer or not, he's certainly told at least one lie about his film career. Anyway, enough of that for now. Let's get back to the claims of being an engineer. While these days he simply peppers his questionable qualification into any coverage he can, a decade ago he was much naughtier, in a way that seems to have never been addressed. Many people don't care if some guy on YouTube is saying he's an engineer, even if he really can't rightfully use that title. But he's done something a bit more than that, a bit more specific. Let's read through an old SomeOrdinaryGamers Facebook post. Out of the hundreds of videos I have made, I personally felt really proud of this one due to the methods of filming it and the finesse I put into making this one. I put finesse in everything, but this video speaks to me personally. As an engineer. Let's get a taste of this masterpiece.
Power this thing on, and you come across a set of flashing lights over here, and you got
beautiful audio engineering, sophisticated framing. Before my whole YouTube channel, I worked in the tech and cybersecurity industry. Cybersecurity industry? Ah yes, the high school job he got from having connections. You'd certainly guess that means something else from reading this though, without that context. Wouldn't you? One of my highlights was being able to test stuff like this. It makes me feel alive,
like legit, like,
knowing that I can
worse than the Pirate Software Blizzard stuff. I think this is worse than the Pirate Software Blizzard stuff. Not worse than the totality of Pirate Software, but worse than the Blizzard stuff. Using this, like, teenage high school job you got through family or whatever as, like, a cybersecurity background for the next, like, 20 years, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Use this YouTube channel not just to share creepypastas, but my love of tech from time to time. This will not be a common trend of videos. Every once in a while I do stuff like this because it makes me feel really alive. Doing an unboxing like this from a company I follow and hold dear to me as a tech enthusiast, I feel honored to be the few to do this, and you all are to thank for it. I would not be here if it wasn't for you awesome people. I personally teared up editing this video because for the first time I've been supported by caring and loving people. And to be at a milestone like this in my life shows that I have the best family a guy could ask for. I wouldn't change anything for the world, and I will always be your same lovable goof. For those who have been here since the beginning or just a few seconds ago, thank you for changing this person's life and making it so much more enjoyable than what it used to be. When all this is said and done, I hope you all know that despite the entertainment that I've provided you all, and for those who say I make them happy, you all have no idea just how happy each and every one of you make me. Thank you for supporting me and allowing me to do videos like this. Heart emoji. So what is this video he's talking about? It's an ad. Oh, just because he was sent something doesn't mean it's an ad, and it's even disclosed in the title that they sent it to him. No, it's a full-on ad. The disclosure of that fact is just hidden below the fold. Muta used his claim to be an engineer to pose as an expert while advertising for Intel.
Oh my god. Used to be an engineer before I went into the video editing route. Now, as an engineer...
And it's got this classic... I feel like I even heard someone mention this, that like... Mutahar did like the old style of disclosure for this ad before like the FTC or whatever came in swinging their dick around about how all the YouTube ads were totally like deceptive. Because I think it was what case was it that did it? Was it Xbox or something when the Xbox One or some shit came out? A bunch of people were being super positive towards it and didn't disclose ads properly. I think it was something like that. But yeah, you have to obviously clearly state at basically every point, like, this is an ad, this is an ad, so you guys know this is an ad. You can't do the whole, oh, at the bottom of the description it says, this video was sponsored by Intel. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that.
No, it's a full-on ad. The disclosure of that fact is just hidden below the fold. Muta used his claim to be an engineer to pose as an expert while advertising for Intel.
I myself used to be an engineer before I went into the video editing route. Now, as an engineer, I played around with the latest PC parts.
Not only does he claim he was an engineer, he specifically states that his work as an engineer involved playing around with the latest PC parts. To big up Intel, the company that's sponsoring this video, he claimed to have direct expertise with parts like this. The two jobs I'm aware of him claiming to have had before he started YouTube were the high school penetration testing one and programming bank applications.
I told you guys, I'm a guy who used to code bank applications. Really boring shit.
Which one of those involved playing around with the latest processors and graphics cards? Oh, do you mean you did that in your own time while you were an engineer? But Muta, you like to brag about how little tech you had back then.
I was editing stuff on this laptop and recording stuff here. Now I'm going to show you guys what this fucking...
Muta, I'm going to have to ask that you substantiate this claim you made in an advert for Intel, that you were an engineer who, as an engineer, played around with the latest tech. If it's not true, using those credentials to big up a company that's sponsoring you is fucked. In my personal opinion, that would make you a scammer. I have to imagine it's not particularly legal either, but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not going to go into that. It's just obviously bad enough on its own. But harmful, he's a nice guy, he does good things. Yeah, he does. He's a hero in real life. Even back then. Let's read a couple of the stories he's told.
Yeah,
he once taught a mother how to look after her child. It's okay for kids to ring your doorbell once in a while, but to call you a dried up cunt is pushing it far and above unacceptable. I go to this child's mother, repeat the phrase, and she goes of to defend her kid. Rest assured, I taught her how to fucking parent. If you want to procreate, make sure you are kids, have good values, and learn some damn respect. Cause I don't take that shit. Mutahar. Damn, Muta, you kicked that toddler's ass. But he's not just a stone-cold badass. He also has a heart of gold. He's a philanthropist. This may not be gaming related, but I feel
this is big. This is huge.
It's something to share. This morning, while coming home from my office, I saw a wealthy individual talking down to someone that was homeless, simply for the reason that he made more money and therefore was a better fit to society. I did everything to this man to shut him up, short of getting violent. What, did you let him sniff your poop spittoon? I've been at both ends of the spectrum, but I've never been homeless in my life. I suspect there's another spectrum you're...
It's like an Indonesian TikTok. Just like an Indonesian TikTok. Where it's like, you know, saying, oh, don't be mean to the homeless people. Don't be mean to homeless people. The homeless man actually one day becomes rich and turns around and gives you all the money. It's like one of those, right?
You're on too,
So
brother.
funny.
The way some people treat others is absolutely horrible.
Thinking.
No one is a better man or woman simply because they have more. So many factors go into that. Money does not define you as a person. I ended up giving this man what he considers a small fortune, $130 in my wallet. The individual was very grateful for it and proceeded to hug me. Saint Mutahar, beloved of the homeless. Now, I didn't give him money simply for being homeless. I gave him money because it was the human thing to do. Nah, Invader Zim, you're not tricking me.
The virtue signaling is fucking crazy, man. The virtue signaling is just crazy.
Life isn't about living for yourself or spreading some great message or winning a few battles here and there. It's simply about being a good person. It's kind of funny when I say I learned this morals from ordinary video games. But it's true. What, the rising price of AAA, is that why you gave him $130? Okay, look, Harmful, please. It's pretty cringe, but he doesn't deserve this. Think of his health. Think of his heart condition. You know that stress gives him cancer, as he explained in 2014. For those out there, I've had a bad couple of days as of now, and why I've been unable to stream.
I'm so glad people are finally going through the Mutahar catalog. This shit has been there the whole time. He is just so goofy. He's always been goofy as hell. Was goofy as hell even in his even up till recently. He was mad goofy. It's just people didn't see it. People didn't see the vision. That's the problem.
Several medical conditions, and although my stress has always been high and this is my coping method for that, I believe family heart issues have surfaced and I've been cursed with them. I also believe that cancer could be involved as a potential factor in the situation, alongside work problems IRL. Were you telling people you might have cancer because a doctor said that? Or was it whispered to you by one of your sleep paralysis demons? Because it's not a joke, is it, Mutahar? It's not something you should just play around with frivolously.
Your parents probably will also tell you straight up, lying about having cancer is like evil bad, okay? Like, god damn, if you believe in a god,
and the devil, you know that this shit is alone enough to send you down to fucking hell and burn there. That's how bad this situation is.
To be fair, unlike Boogie, he didn't say he did have cancer. He just floated that possibility out there to the world for sympathy. And it can be scary. A couple years back, I had to have a scan done, which cleared up there wasn't a problem, but I was spooked, and I talked about it. I talked about what my doctor said and the test I was getting. I didn't say, I believe cancer could be involved in why I feel bad. That would be fucking weird. Mutahar, did you have a good reason to say...
Dude, this is way better age verification. Wait, fuck, I can't even pull it up. Newgrounds are apparently doing different age verification to everyone else. Regarding age verification, here is a new plan for UK users. If your account is more than 10 years old, we will assume you are currently over 18. This is in line with one of the methods of effective age assurance, which involves paying a third party to match your email address against some sort of database of scraped data, which determines if your email has been in use for a long time. We have our own long-term data, so we'll use that instead. If your account ever bought supported status with a credit card and we can confirm with the payment processor, we will assume you're over 18 because you need to be 18 in the UK to have a credit card. If your account ever bought a supported status more than 2 years ago, we'll assume you're over 18 because you need to be at least 16 to have a PayPal or debit card in the UK, assuming we're right about this. If none of the above applies, you have the opportunity to pay a one-time small fee via credit card as confirmation of your age. Big Tech is the only winner of the Online Safety Act. That's just kind of facts.
Say you thought cancer was involved? Or did you just throw it out there for giggles? Careful bringing up the big C word. Sunground Studios might try to make friends with you. You know, you actually remind me of him. Not because you're brown, because of the suits. No racism here. No Islamophobia. Not even going to mention the now deleted meeting with Al-Qaeda video. I don't know what's in that. Probably just an engineering conference. Yeah, this stuff's old. But how old's the stuff he was using just last month to claim engineering credentials? And it's not like he has a degree, is it? His cybersecurity background.
We need to get our hands on the deleted Mutahar meeting with Al-Qaeda video. This is a golden lost media.
A high school nepo job. Remind you of anyone else? He wants to live in the past? I'm merely obliging. And not only that, this is the foundation of his channel. This is the basis of his internet presence. When you see the die-hard fans who love him no matter what, been there from the start, the first million, it's because they've been told he'd die for them, that he loves them, that they're his family. Literally. Disgusting. And this is just what can be found from a brief scan of his career yesterday morning, so I'd have some idea who Mutahar is.
God bless. Awesome stuff. So there's a second video here.
Mutahar.
From Harmful Opinions. Mutahar the engineer responds.
Of Some Ordinary Gamers has just responded to commentary and questions regarding his claims of engineering credentials. Wait, what am I talking about? You don't see anything, do you? He hasn't posted a video, he hasn't made a tweet. Exactly. You don't see anything. Like any good professional engineer, Mutahar found a technical solution. His response was to blacklist the word engineer and perhaps others from his comment sections. This is very easily confirmed by account switching or logging out. Let's leave a perfectly innocuous comment on his most recent video and include the word engineer, logged in as my Nightmare Club channel. Now let me switch back to Harmful Opinions. Let's sort by new to look at it. It is not there, no matter how many times I refresh the comment section. I also left some other comments including the word engineer on other accounts. Perhaps someone could engineer a more efficient method, I wrote. You'll notice it's a highlighted comment because I'm looking at it with a direct link. I can see it when I'm logged into the account that made the comment, but if I follow that link...
How does it feel to know that if we were to trace it down, you being incredibly hateful at Muta raised vocal criticism of for Chud to ask about Nux causing this domino chain? Yes, I know. I'm a trailblazer on everything. Everything I call out, months later, everyone's like, years later, everyone's like, what? Yep, that is true. That is true. Now we found all this evidence to support it. So I just tap into the schizosphere. Yep, I know. I'm so good at this. I know. Contrarian for 6 months. Mutahar is just an easy call. Mutahar is an easy call. The guy was obviously retarded. The guy's obviously a bitch. Very easy call.
Link while not logged in or logged into another account, it doesn't work. To be thorough, I tested the exact comments I used on his channel on other channels, and this does not occur. It is absolutely not YouTube's basic filter. So Mutahar has responded, and his response was to censor you, no matter what.
Wendigoon's on watch, okay? Wendigoon is on watch. I've been talking Wendigoon for a long time, okay? Wendigoon's time is coming for sure.
he might say or do next. Remember, this was response number 1. And he did this just 3 days after uploading a video where he says this.
We're living in a time of censorship coming at us from both the government end and from private entities. And honestly, we have to find some way to fight back.
I don't think Mutahar means a single thing he says. Ever. Some people were disappointed with my last video, that I only covered stuff from a decade ago or more, which is because I started looking at him from the start, and I made a video about what I'd seen. Well, there you go. There's an example of him being a total fraud from this week. Mutahar, just 4 years ago, you were still calling your viewers your family.
I don't want to get on the Wendigoon tangent right now, okay? There's a video on my second channel about Wendigoon's coverage of Waco, okay? Go and watch the video of me talking about Wendigoon's coverage of Waco. That should roughly summarize my issues with Wendigoon. I don't want to get on the Waco tangent right now. I don't want to start talking about Wendigoon, though. It's a whole thing. Thank you for the $5, Crab Navy General. Huge appreciated.
I want more people to talk about how Muta might not be married. Not because it matters, but because it's funny.
Yeah, I've seen people pointing out he's not wearing a ring in any of his recent videos, so...
I have to be honestly just thankful that we as a community are around, and you guys are basically my family at this point. Like, I consider you all extended family.
And now you're not going to let your family say a word you love to say so often? That's not very brotherly of you, is it? Do you remember saying this 4 months ago?
Yeah, I'm honestly serious here. Like, if my comment section didn't exist,
No, I think he was
would
never
live
married.
a much depressing lifestyle. I love my YouTube comment section. I actually really love you guys so much beyond all of it. Because to be honest, I can just, like, anytime I need a good laugh and a good happy day, I just read some of the stuff you guys say, whether you're, like, talking about the topic that I'm discussing or you're just straight up roasting me. It's always funny to just get down and be part of the community over here.
You love being roasted, but the E word is a step too far. There's free speech and then there's hate speech, and engineer with a hard R is clearly a slur. You can of course say it with a soft A instead, and it won't be filtered. You know all you had to do was do nothing, right? Like you said, YouTube's not your job, you don't rely on it financially in any way. And even if it was, no matter how many people hate or dislike you, or think you're a total fraud, you'll always have tens, hundreds of thousands of people who love you no matter what. Is that not enough for you? Are you still the little...
Like, the Nox just honestly is just so bad. Dude, I'm still hung up on the fucking Nox v Shoujo swatter drama. It's so annoying that has been misreported so widely. Turkey Tom's video literally fucking blows on it. It's so fucking annoying, man.
boy from 10 years ago whose heart's broken when someone unsubscribes?
If I ever lost one subscriber, I feel heartbroken.
I guess so. Now, the odds of Mutahar seeing this, I would assume, are very, very low. But I really hope that Mutahar knows that if he's not a fraud, all of this was salvageable. If any of those jobs he had engineer in the title and he showed receipts, it would have gone a long way, even if he has been fluffing himself up a little bit. If you provided receipts on top of that in the course of one of those jobs, you dealt with cutting-edge hardware, I would make sure that everyone knows the Intel ad where you made those claims isn't fraudulent. But instead, your go-to on becoming aware of what's going on was to censor everyone and try to stop the spread of information. That's a problem in and of itself, brother. You went full Managem. You went full pirate software. Good luck with that. What was it Mutahar said about that guy again?
Just learn to take a little bit of an L. Learn to laugh at yourself. None of this would have been an issue.
The Nux v Shoujo thing. Basically,
the Nux Shoujo thing again. I meant to look into that, but never got around to it.
There was someone pretending to be V Shoujo, emailing VTubers, offering contracts to try and get their docs information so they could be swatted. Nux outed this person and got them arrested, but actually it was the swatter feeding Nux fake info, pretending to be a Nux fan. And then Nux went public with a video about it. The swatter was still active, made videos taunting Nux, streamed taunting Nux. The girls were upset from V Shoujo because they were like, this guy's still active and you're antagonizing him. And Nux was like, well, none of it was my fault. Yeah, it was. Nux and Mutahar, joint operation, by the way. Joint operation stopped this swatter. Very fucking dumb. Very embarrassing. Or should have been. Now, I've also been sent what are apparently Do Jengle's Instagram stories. She says, everyone's signal boosting. Fuck me. I read it as Jesse Single. Everyone's signal boosting a video with a light dox, and now people are working to dox your family. Fuck you. Okay. So, it didn't really have a light dox in it, did it? I don't know, what would you call there, a light dox? Criticism, fine. Encouraging digging for doxes, not okay. It's only bad if you're Ethan Klein. Okay, dudes. Hiding behind plausible deniability. Wait. It's only bad if you're Ethan Klein. What does that mean? You think Nicandros is like a snarker? You think Nicandros like a snarker? This Nicandros guy is like a snark from the snark left, I think. This is Dojengles, Mutahar's white wife, alleged wife, unproven wife. Saying you might as well rip the band-aid off about being doxxed is insane work. Been taking a lot of stupid, racist shit and being scrutinized is tolerable, even just when it's directed towards me, is part of the territory. People being okay with doxing and digging is like living in Bizarro world at this point. Okay, well there wasn't a dox there, was there? Where was the dox in the Nicandros video? In fact, it was just mocking the fact Mutahar is such poor OPSEC for someone who talks about being so massive on cybersecurity. I'm extremely thick-skinned and have bit my tongue a lot this year. It's been hard to hold back, but with our family potentially being fucked with, my lips feel a little loose. I was literally having the best week post-MCR, too. Oh, she went and saw MCR. Jesus Christ. Yule, I'm tired. Thanks for attending my well-deserved crash out. So Miss Piggy is not happy. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I don't know if there's anything else to go over with Mutahar. I think those are all the updates, really. There is a Reddit post. Are there any other big Mutahar updates that I'm missing? Yeah, maybe Nicandros wasn't clear enough. Maybe it did freak her out. I don't know. It's hard to take it seriously, to be honest. Bravo, Nicandros. Hope you're feeling proud right now. Sir, please do not say the engine word, sir. Hope you're proud of yourself, Nicandros. Sending racist abuse towards this poor man's way. Sir, please do not say the engine word, sir. Like light anti-Indian ribbing. Just like accent ribbing. Over the fact he's a total liar. We're pretending it's so terrible. Dude. Wow, our community turned soy as fuck. I thought we were about edgy memes and anti-censorship. Sad to see Mutahar cultivating a community. It's happy to censor people as long as I don't agree with them. Wow, I'm sad to see the fall off. Awesome stuff. Damn. Wow, it's good to finally see this. Good to finally see Mutahar getting the criticism he much deserves.